Clarissa Adiemi stood by the large glass window of her home in Asokoro, her gaze fixed on the garden that used to echo with laughter. But those days were gone. Her only child, Nathan, once full of dreams and confidence, had retreated into isolation after a tragic motorbike accident a year ago. At just 26, he was paralyzed from the waist down. The crash didn't only rob him of mobility, it took his spirit. The vibrant young man who once organized community outreaches and lived to dance now barely spoke to anyone. The worst blow? His fiancée, Laura, left him a week after the doctors confirmed he would never walk again. Clarissa sighed deeply, clutching a photograph of a smiling Nathan from his university graduation. She walked down the marbled hallway and knocked gently on his bedroom door. Nathan was by the window in his wheelchair, earbuds in. "Nathan, can we talk?" Clarissa asked. "If it's another motivational speaker or anointing oil, I'm not interested," he mumbled. "It's different this time," she said, sitting across from him. "I'm bringing 4 women to stay here for a few weeks. Not for therapy, but for companionship. Maybe even love." Nathan turned to her slowly, his voice bitter. "So I'm now a charity project? A broken man looking for scraps of affection?" Clarissa held back tears. "Just try. Let them see you, the real you. Maybe someone will." Nathan looked away. "They won't come for me. They'll come for the status. But go ahead, Mum. Waste your time." 2 Saturdays later, 4 young women arrived at the Adiemi mansion. Each had been selected by Clarissa through friends, referrals, and even church connections. They didn't know each other, but they all shared one thing: ambition. Zara, a caramel-toned, confident woman from Lekki, was a lifestyle influencer. Her Instagram bio read "wife goals," and she believed marrying into wealth was her divine destiny. Ivy was elegant, soft-spoken, and calculated. A radio personality in Ibadan, she saw this as a stepping stone to nationwide fame. Amara was street-smart and charming, raised in Wari, and not afraid to hustle, men included. And then there was Eliana. Quiet, bookish, and grounded. She came from a humble village in Kogi, where she helped her mother run a small food stall. Clarissa welcomed them with poise. "You're not here to audition. You're here to be yourselves. My son Nathan is in pain, and if any of you can truly connect with him, I'll reward you generously. But remember, this house does not entertain deception." That evening, Nathan wheeled himself into the lounge where the ladies were gathered. He wore a plain shirt, his face unreadable. "So this is the love parade?" he said dryly. Zara laughed nervously. "We just wanted to meet you." Nathan turned sharply. "I didn't ask for any of this. You're all here for one thing: money. Let's not pretend otherwise." The room fell silent. Only Eliana whispered a soft, "Good evening," and returned to her book. Nathan stared at her for a moment, unsure why her quietness unsettled him more than the other's polished charm. By midweek, Nathan had already grown more irritable. He barely left his room and only rolled on through the corridors to make quick appearances. The girls began to show their true colors. Zara spent most of her time in the mirror or taking selfies in the garden, tagging her location as Luxury Healing Mansion. Ivy tried to charm the staff, especially the driver, trying to dig for secrets. Amara, ever restless, attempted to flirt with one of the security guards. Eliana, on the other hand, spent her mornings helping the chef clean yam, and her afternoons reading quietly under the shade of a cashew tree. Clarissa noticed the tension between Nathan and the girls was thickening, so she devised a new idea, one that would force authenticity. At breakfast one morning, she made an announcement. "Starting tomorrow, all guests will spend 1 hour each day working in the garden. No makeup, no staff, just you, the earth, and your effort." The reaction was explosive. "Ma, sorry, is this a camp?" Zara protested. Amara raised a brow. "We didn't come to plant ugu." Eliana simply nodded and returned to sipping her tea. The next morning, dressed in old clothes and boots, she joined the gardeners without a word. Nathan, watching from his upstairs balcony, couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. She was already elbows deep in soil before the others even arrived. He rolled back inside, a slight smile tugging at his lips. Later that evening, the mansion hummed with gossip. In one of the guest rooms, Zara paced angrily. That village girl is playing a long game, acting humble to get pity points, she said. Ivy nodded. She's smart, but I'll outclass her. Let her dig yam. I'll dig into Nathan's heart. Amara laughed. Una day waste time. Me, I'll flirt, cook, cry small. Boom the engagement ring. None of them knew Clarissa had installed audio surveillance in the room just a day before. Meanwhile, Nathan rolled into the library, only to find Eliana restacking books one by one. You know the staff will do that, he said. She looked up surprised. Yes, but it's something to do. Helps me think. Nathan tilted his head. Why are you really here? She hesitated, then answered quietly. I came because of the offer. But staying here, I realized I don't need millions to be happy. Just peace. He didn't respond, but that night, for the first time in weeks, he didn't take a sleeping pill. Back in her room, Ivy made a late-night phone call. Babe, he's starting to soften. I'll get the money. Just a few more days. Eliana, unaware of the brewing schemes around her, slept peacefully, her heart clean, but her presence now a threat to the others. And so the quiet battle for Nathan's heart and Clarissa's fortune intensified. The next few days became a subtle war zone inside the Adeyemi mansion. Zara doubled down on her appearance, wearing designer outfits to breakfast, speaking in a fake British accent, and constantly taking photos with the mansion in the background. Amara began preparing exotic meals, adding extra pepper, and claiming they were Nathan's favorite dishes. Ivy, more calculated, spent time near the garden, pretending to enjoy it, but her freshly manicured nails always remained spotless. Nathan, growing weary, decided it was time to test their intentions. One morning, he asked the housekeeper to tell the girls he wanted a one-on-one dinner with each of them, one per night. The news sparked excitement. This is it, Ivy whispered. Operation Wife Material is on. On the first night, Zara showed up in a tight dress, dripping in gold accessories. You're so strong, she said, leaning close. Disability can be sexy. Nathan raised a brow. Is that a compliment or a pitch? Zara giggled awkwardly. It's admiration. But Nathan remained cold throughout the dinner. By the end, he told the butler, next time, serve less perfume on the plate. By the third night, it was Eliana's turn. She arrived simply dressed in a sky blue gown with her natural hair tied up. The table was set on the terrace, lit by lanterns. Nathan watched her carefully. So, do you always play the saint? He asked. She looked at him, eyes steady. I'm not a saint. I'm just myself. That's all I've ever been. He leaned forward, challenging her. Then why haven't you tried to impress me like the others? Eliana's voice was soft but firm. I believe love can't be forced. If you see me, you see me. If not, that's okay. Her words disarmed him. There was no desperation, no fake laughter, just quiet honesty. When she stood to help clear the plates, he stopped her. You don't need to do that, she smiled. I know, but I want to. As she walked away, Nathan sat back, watching her silhouette disappear into the house. Something about her haunted him in a good way. Meanwhile, Ivy crept toward Zara and Amara's room. He's starting to like the quiet one, she whispered. That Eliana is dangerous to our plans. Amara cracked her knuckles. Then we need to strike before it's too late. Unbeknownst to them, Clarissa had been watching silently, confirming what her instincts had been telling her all along. By the following weekend, Ivy had a new strategy. She cornered Eliana in the hallway that evening, smiling like an old friend. Let's have a girls' night, she said cheerfully. Just the two of us. I feel like I don't really know you. Eliana, though unsure, agreed. Later that night, Ivy arrived at Eliana's door with a small cake, balloons, and 2 wine glasses. It's my birthday, she said with a grin. Let's celebrate small. Eliana hesitated. I don't drink, Ivy laughed. Come on, just a sip. It's sparkling, not even alcohol. Reluctantly, Eliana took a few sips, while Ivy encouraged her to relax. Minutes later, Eliana began to giggle, her words slower. Ivy quickly activated her phone's voice recorder and asked softly, Why did you come here, really? Eliana blinked slowly. for the money, but I changed. Nathan is kind. I like him. Do you love him? Ivy whispered. Eliana slurred. Not love, but maybe something like it. Ivy smiled to herself, turned off the recording and whispered, Got you. The next morning, Clarissa was already in the garden when Ivy approached her with a confident stride. Good morning, Ma, she said. There's something I think you need to hear. She played the recording. Eliana's drunken voice filled the air. Clarissa's face remained unreadable. I see, she said quietly. Thank you. Later that afternoon, Clarissa called all 4 girls into the drawing room. Nathan was there too. I brought each of you here to see your heart, she said, but this house has eyes and ears. I know who has been pretending and who has been scheming. She turned to Amara and Zara. You're both disqualified. I heard what you said about my son, about this house. You came for the name, not the man. Pack your things. Amara protested, Zara begged, but Clarissa was unmoved. The guards escorted them out. Nathan said nothing, just stared at Eliana. She couldn't meet his eyes. Ivy stood beside her, smug, but Clarissa wasn't finished. Eliana, she said, you may stay, but know this. I know what you said last night. Eliana's eyes widened. Ivy, she tricked me. Clarissa nodded slowly. Maybe, but truth drunk is still truth. Nathan stood up from his chair, walked across the room on his feet and said, I need to talk to Eliana. Alone. Eliana followed Nathan quietly into the private lounge. She stared in shock as he walked slowly without his wheelchair. You can walk? She asked, breathless. Nathan nodded. Started therapy secretly 2 months ago. I stayed in the chair because I needed to know who would see me, not the wealth, not the disability. Just me. Tears welled in Eliana's eyes. I never lied, Nathan. Not really. I did come for the money at first. My brother needs heart surgery abroad. My mom's been selling vegetables every day since our father died. But you made me see something I didn't expect. That kindness still lives in this world. Nathan's expression softened. Then why say you didn't love me? Eliana looked away. I was confused. I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't know how to say it. But I feel something deep. Something I didn't come here looking for. Nathan took a deep breath. I believe you, and I forgive you, but I had to be sure. Outside, Ivy was pacing the corridor, fuming. She's winning! She's winning! She hissed into her phone. You need to do something, her boyfriend's voice said. You said they're rich. Is there anything valuable left? Ivy's eyes darted to the antique jewelry box in Clarissa's room. Yes, I know what to do, she muttered. I'm leaving this place with something, even if it's not the man. That night, Ivy crept into Clarissa's room while everyone slept. She opened the gold-plated jewelry box, her eyes glinting at the sight of necklaces and rings. She stuffed as much as she could into her bag, but as she turned to leave, the lights flipped on. Clarissa stood at the door. Nathan was beside her. So were 2 guards. Looking for a souvenir? Clarissa asked coldly. Ivy froze. Please, I needed the money. I thought... You thought wrong, Nathan interrupted. You weren't just a liar. You were a thief. Ivy dropped to her knees, pleading, but it was too late. The guards escorted her out as she screamed, You'll regret this. The next morning was peaceful. Eliana stood on the balcony with Clarissa. Thank you, Eliana said, for trusting me even after everything. Clarissa smiled. You remind me of the kind of woman I was before I had wealth, grounded, strong, and sincere. Downstairs, Nathan prepared something special. When Eliana came to the garden, she found him standing under the cashew tree with a small box in hand. This spot changed everything for me, he said. You changed everything for me. Eliana, will you marry me? Eliana gasped, speechless. Then she smiled, tears filling her eyes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. A few months later, they married in a modest but beautiful ceremony. Nathan walked her down the aisle himself, his gait steady, his heart full. Clarissa cried happy tears, knowing her son had finally found someone who loved him not for what he had, but for who he truly was. The end. What are your thoughts on House of Hearts? Did Eliana deserve Nathan's love? Was Clarissa right to test those girls? And what do you think about Ivy's downfall? We'd love to hear your opinions. Drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more gripping tales. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Stay inspired. Stay real.